quiet seaside town, an evil laid to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello and welcome to Tabletop Gold, Episode 8, the 8th episode, just as many kings Henry the English crown had before he blew it and they couldn't go back to that name. Is that true? Was there Henry the 9th? We'll figure it out as we meet the rest of the cast. Zoe Chernicoff, how are you?
Hello.
Okay, very good to meet you tonight. David Chernicoff, you're here as well.
Oi, governor.
Doing that classic Henry VIII impression that he's so famous for. Robin Lange is here.
Hello.
Henry VIII as a mouse, fantastic. And our Matt Humphreys is here as well.
Yes, hello. I'm Henry VIII. It's Bill Nye.
Oh, Bill Nye, the fish man.
Christmas is all around me.
Okay.
And so the feeling... Oh, that's a callback to last episode.
To last ep. Can't get enough Love Actually.
It's the first bit of banter continuity that we had, and I'm, as the children say, here for it.
Wait, if you're here for it, if you're actually here for banter continuity, then I do feel like I need to...
Okay, yeah, let's get into it. What's going on,
I owe
David?
Matt an apology.
What?
For a moment in the last episode. I guess it wasn't in the banter, but...
Well, let's get into it.
So this is just
have
personal atonement.
Yeah.
I have no idea what this could possibly be referring to.
So we ended up getting access to a little bit of a side quest in the last episode where there are some thieves that have gone missing. And in the course of learning about this, we asked for more information about the thieves so that we would be able to identify them if we found them up in Gauntlet Keep. And we learned... You
learned a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah. And their
we
names
learned some beautiful things.
Their names are Jeffrey, Joffrey, Meffrey, and Beffrey.
Oh, Beffrey.
3 of them are triplets. The 4 triplet humans with potbellies. The 4th is a halfling that's Trill's ex-girlfriend.
With notably small feet, but
small feet.
Very small for a halfling.
Her last name may have been Longfoot, but she has small feet.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
Correct. That's our Beffrey.
But so it was also then realized in the course of this progression that the 3 thieves who are pot-bellied mustachioed triplets have 1 arm each.
Right.
No, only 2 of them have 1 arm.
Except maybe there's one that has no arms. At any rate, when it was revealed that one of them had 1 arm, Matt immediately said, "I didn't kill her." We were all going so fast that none of us, and I will just say this in terms of, I didn't have the presence of mind to respond, "I don't care."
Oh, thank you.
And I'm so sorry. You were right there and you needed us. And we let you down. And my pledge to you is I'm going to be more responsive to your needs in combat today than I was with fugitive references last week. I'm
David,
beside myself.
You are a beautiful, beautiful soul, and I am so glad to be adventuring with you.
Yeah.
And thank you for finally mentioning that it's from The Fugitive for those of us who have never actually seen that movie.
Yeah.
You know, we try to have this we have a nice little bit of conversation at the beginning of the show, and I guess I'm just going to kind of come out and say it. We're a little all over the map today. There's so many different things that we could talk about. We were potentially talking about concerts that we've gone to and things like that. But I actually kind of right now just want to talk about how good the film The Fugitive is, if that's something that we can do for a little while.
Oh gosh. Only if you don't mind losing everyone who's not seen it.
That's funny.
Okay. Well, then maybe that's not a great idea. Should we get into our game? Should we
Let's
play
go.
our game of Pathfinder 2nd edition?
I just want to leave the Anglophiles out there with the reassurance that there was a Henry the Ninth.
What?
Oh, was there? Let's close the circle on that.
Grandson, not son, but grandson of Henry VIII.
Isn't one of the current princes named Henry also? Isn't it like Prince Henry and Meghan Markle?
Lars, I'm very much the love all things British to your hate all things British.
Oh,
But I think his birth
fantastic.
name is Harry. He might be Harold.
But also, I think that it doesn't matter if he were to become king because your name upon coronation.
No, he's Henry. He's legally Henry. Henry Charles Albert David.
Wait, the thing that I said that was intentionally trying to be incorrect to demonstrate my ignorance about the British crown actually turned out to be correct?
Yes, and I, the lover of the British crown, follower of all things Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle, was incorrect. So that's how the dice are falling today. I don't know what that says about the fight we're about to go into, but
Yeah, let's get into it, shall we? Let's see what's going on in our game today. You are all exploring the decaying ruins of Gauntlet Keep, and you've returned to the large central hallway where you previously found a trio of midflits attempting to train a giant maggot to be rideable with a saddle. From there, you've opened a door into a room with a massive pile of rubble in the middle, stairs leading up to nowhere along the northern wall, and a large hole blown into the western wall, such that you're looking out from the room onto the swamp and also onto the decaying body of a frog the size of a horse. Mag has gone forward to inspect this oddly sized amphibian, and two more giant maggots have crawled out, breaking through the frog's sternum and are about to attack. Please roll for initiative.
7 for Norman, so he's paying the price. Some sort of karmic comeback with the last maggot.
12 for Trill.
Mag was concentrating so hard on trying to figure out what's going on with that frog that she's taken it back. 13.
Vadim got a 15.
Okay, but
Okay. Not a lot of great rolls, but Vadim is going to be up first of the adventuring party. So let's see who is going first. It's me. It's the giant maggot. It's me, the giant maggot to the north, writhing out of the body of this frog with its hind legs bitten off. It crawls forward out of the body of the frog, searches around for who its target is going to be to eat. It is so hungry. Here it comes, launching forward towards Mag, spreading its mandibles wide open and attempting to land a blow on Mag. That is going to be a 22 to hit.
Ooh.
Yeah, it hits.
All right, so the mandibles
fast.
sink into Mag's soft side, doing not a great roll, 5 points of piercing damage. At this point, using a second action, the maggot holds on to Mag, giving Mag the grabbed condition, which is going to make Mag flat-footed and immobile as it just keeps its pincers, its mandibles plugged into your side, and it starts writhing back and forth like a alligator trying to kill its prey. And I need you to make a reflex saving throw as it attempts to chew on your flesh.
That's a 19.
So that is enough to just barely pass. That means that you will take half damage, 3 points of slashing damage as it bites into you.
Hang on 1 second. Vadim is going to use his reaction and be surrounded by the spectral glow of
Ooh.
blue-white mist. And he's going to point at the maggot and use his glimpse of redemption and say, do you really want to do that? So what that does is it's a reaction that I can use when an enemy damages my ally and both are within 15 feet of me. The foe hesitates under the weight of sin as visions of redemption play in their mind's eye. So the maggot now has to choose if Mags is going to be unharmed by the triggering damage or if Mags is going to get resistance to all damage against that triggering attack, which is 2+ my level, and the maggot will be enfeebled 2.
Can maggots be redeemed? Can they see? Do they think
So the
about
maggot
good and
has
bad?
a vision of being a less bad maggot flashing through its maggot brain. And it's like, do I want to not do this damage? And the answer to that is no. So the maggot is going to continue chewing into Mag. And how much damage do you reduce?
It is 2+ my level, so 3. So I think
So that means that you stop all of the damage. As the maggot sort of withers up for a second, Mag looks down at this maggot chewing on her leg and sees that it looks more emaciated and struggles to maintain its grasp and sort of withers away for a second, although Mag is still grabbed.
Cool.
So if the maggot had acknowledged its scruples further,
Seen the error of its ways.
the alternative, it was either going to not do any damage to me, or it was going to.
So basically the way it works is like it can choose to not do damage to you, or it can do the damage to you, which you get like supernatural resistance from Pharasma, and the maggot for not paying attention to like the divine indicator of I'm waggling my finger now for the listeners who can't get the visual cue I'm adding to this.
I like to think of this as the marshmallow test for maggots. Like it could delay its gratification and get more harm, or it could eat the person it's got in its mouth now and fuck them up, but it's going to have trouble fucking people up in the future.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know the
Well, this
marshmallow
maggot
test with kids?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That thing that tells you if your child is going to be a criminal. Well, let
Yeah.
me tell you something. This maggot failed the marshmallow test, and it is paying the price right now, as it is Vadim's turn.
All right.
And so that thing that you just did, the Glimpse of Redemption, is the reaction that you get because you are a Redeemer champion. I'm interested to see how this combat goes with Vadim in the fight now, because it's the first time there's really been a defensive character in the mix. So let's see what kind of difference that makes.
Yeah. Just for the viewer, the situation is Vadim was behind Mags as she burst through this door into the center of the room where there's this frog corpse. The two maggots are now like Mags and Vadim are both like facing off with one basically in a 4x4 square. So Vadim with like a swift draw pulls his blade and you hear shing! And as it's like coming out of the blade, he's got it high above his head. He just brings it down in a fluid downward slash from the top right corner to the bottom left corner of the maggot.
Let's call it the head
And-
to the ass.
He gets an 18 on the die for a 25.
Ooh, yes,
This
that
guy
is-
means business.
Okay.
This dude knows how to do fighting. Yeah, that's a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Awesome. And that is an 8, 7 on the die plus 1. So
So you slice into the maggot for 8 points of slashing damage. As that happens, the maggot writhes around uncomfortably, and that's right, it vomits
Oh, no.
all over the place.
Oh,
oh god.
should have brought barf bags.
I need
Ugh.
Mag and Vadim, who are within 5 feet of this maggot. I need you to each make a fortitude saving throw, please.
17.
And 27.
You fight back the smell of this horrific rancid meal that it just ejected from its beautiful face, and you are not sickened. Congratulations.
I like to think that was Norman, like 11 minutes of the 30-minute walk back to the keep, just giving Vadim like a blow-by-blow of the maggot encounter, so Vadim knew to like what to like to turn away or to himself throw up or whatever it was he needed to do.
Yeah, well, it seems like that preparation has absolutely paid off for Vadim. It is now Mag's turn. Mag, you have wrapped around you this vomiting maggot. What would you like to do on your turn?
Do I need to do anything am I limited in what I can do because it's on me?
If you want to move away from it, you will need to make an escape attempt, which is either an athletics, acrobatics, or unarmed strike.
Nah, not
check.
interested. I am gonna mag crush. All right, Mag is gonna start by raging.
Yes.
The mere presence of these things was just about enough to get Mag there, but one of them now stepping to Mag and touching Mag, being in Mag's personal space, rage. So Mag looks down. I look down and see this thing sort of nestled against me, and my eyes grow wide, my pupils get small, and subtly the color of my face gets a shade and a half darker and redder. I'm going to draw my flail, and I'm going to bash this thing that's all up against me and in my personal zone with the flail. I don't know if I should be afraid of being grabbed by it, but that's not how the spirit's moving me right now.
Yeah, I love it. I'm going to give you a hero point for it, in fact.
All right.
Woo!
All right, that is a 19 to hit.
Yeah, 19 will hit its armor class, no problem. You bring your mace, your flail down with little difficulty on top of the maggot.
Wait, did the flail finally do something?
At last, the flail has connected with
the
an
spirit
enemy.
of Pharasma has improved us collectively.
Thank
No
God.
longer the flail.
Thank Pharasma.
On connecting with the maggot, the flail emits a sound of surprise.
Did I do
Says
that?
Mag's flail. That is 8 damage.
It looks very, very badly injured. It is Trill's turn.
Okay, so we got 2 maggots ahead of her. Trill's gonna step into the room.
Norman whispers, "Don't shut that door."
Trill slips into the room, pressing her back against the wall.
Knowing she doesn't want to be anywhere near that maggot vomit.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
And-
Norman firing a bow.
Or Norman with the bow. So Trill it's a new day. She's got all her focus points. So Trill is, maybe Trill's going to hold on to those because everyone seems to be doing a pretty good job.
Focus points recharge after we can rest for 10 minutes, so there's always a good incentive to use your focus powers.
Yeah?
Basically. Yeah,
Okay.
There's always an incentive to use one.
or one at the very least. Yeah.
So she's going to play her lingering composition, which is a free.
So lingering composition, I need you to make a performance check to see
Oh,
how
thank
good
you.
your performance is. And
So
the
good.
DC
It's
of that
so
performance
good.
check is determined by the smartest person in the room, which for these maggots means that you have a pretty low DC to try to impress them with your performance.
Fantastic. So I'm going to roll that. And that's a 23 after a 14 on the die. Her performance
have
is
to be
pretty
impressed.
strong.
Surely.
Yeah, so that is a success. It is not a critical success, but what that means is that the next composition cantrip that you cast is going to last for 3 rounds.
Nice.
There we go. So now she's going to inspire some courage.
Yes.
Woo! Nice work, Trill.
So she's inspiring herself and her allies with words or tunes of encouragement.
Which gives everybody a bonus to attacks and to saves from fear effects, and I think also to damage. Is that possibly true?
Damage rolls, yep.
Wow,
plus
what
1
a
status
great,
bonus
what
to
a great
attack rolls,
spell! A
damage
single
rolls.
action spell. The
Yeah.
Bard's bread and butter.
With that being done, with her doing her thing to try and actually support people, on that note, she's just going to raise her shield.
That means it is currently Norman's turn.
Wow, second maggot is below Norman. That's emboldening.
Yes, and because Norman rolled stealth for initiative because you were hiding, trying to avoid notice before this combat started, anybody that you go before you can apply is flat-footed to you, which means you can apply sneak attack damage if you would like to.
It feels like I should do that, although I'm a little worried about Mag and the other maggots' clutches. But it seems like maybe you guys have that covered, and maybe I'll make a little progress on Friendo number dos.
I'll bash it in a second.
Okay, so Norman, excited to try his new short bow, draws it, peeks around the corner, and taking his very best aim. He practiced a bunch in Otari outside of everyone's view, but it's a little new to him. He draws the arrow back, and if anyone was looking at the arrow, they might notice that he's attached a tooth to the front of it. It doesn't affect gameplay mechanics.
But it is a bite attack, technically.
But it is technically a bite attack.
You are not the arbiter of technical bite attacks, Arnett.
Also,
It is untechnically a bite attack.
it is figuratively.
Yes.
And that is a 21. 14 on the die for 21.
That 21 is a hit, not quite a critical hit, but you do manage to launch an arrow towards the maggot behind Mag.
And that is 10 damage.
A huge hit as you do 10 points of piercing damage to the maggot. By my count, that is all 3 of your actions. You drew your short bow, you craned around the corner, and you let off a shot.
Not too
And you see
shabby,
Norman
guys.
like kind of do like he puts a fist and he goes, yeah, like quietly to himself.
So the maggot that you just launched an arrow into writhes around in pain for a moment, searches around for somebody to bite to take care of that problem, sees Mag being restrained or being grabbed by the other maggot, decides that she is the soft target, and attempts to bite her. That's a 12 to hit.
That does not hit Mag.
So Mag is able to dodge out of the way at the last second, leaving this maggot to attack one more time because they're
That's what maggots do?
A mindless animal. Hey, David, does a 3 hit your armor class?
That does not. Is there such thing as a critical failure for being 10 below?
There is, but it doesn't have any. There's nothing for a strike being a critical failure.
So
Just
Mag,
shame.
So it doesn't just
Yeah.
bite itself?
Mag, with one of these maggots sort of nestling somewhat ineffectually up to her already, sees this other maggot like flail at her twice with its jaws out, and in her rage, she laughs at it twice.
So as Mag laughs, the maggot gives up on attacking Mag and slithers across the room towards Trill.
Fantastic.
The hot, fetid breath of the maggot pushing her back against the wall. Robin does not enjoy this maggot talk. That's more than enough reason to start round 2. It is the other maggot's turn to kick things off. It is grabbing Mag, so it is going to attempt to re-up that grab. So here comes first a mandible strike as it wriggles hard against Mag and tries to bite her. Does a 6 hit your armor class? You don't need to answer that. The maggot's going to try one more. Okay, got it. Was going to try one more mandible strike as it just bites over and over again with a 1 to hit your armor class. As this maggot just ineffectively whips back and forth, attempting to chew on Mag and finding armor, as this new breastplate that Mag is wearing seems to fend off any attack.
It's almost as if we should have come into this room first.
You could make
The
a case.
maggot crawls away to the corner of the room.
It's taking Mag with it. Oh no, it's getting away from her.
No, that's going to release the grab as it moves away. It is now Vadim's turn. You see this maggot crawling away from you, slithering through this pile of rubble, attempting to get to the open swamp outside this room.
You can try to run. He is going to stride down behind the maggot that has approached Trill and move into flanking position for his first action. So the maggot is now flat-footed, which means it has a -2 to its armor class. Then he is going to strike at it with his Aldori dueling sword. And so in like a...
You love this Aldori dueling sword so much.
I love the sword.
There's a lot to love.
It's so saucy.
We're going to need to name this sword at some point.
That is a 25 to hit, 18 on the die.
25 is a critical hit. Why don't you go ahead and tell me what this critical hit looks like?
He's just going to arc the blade downward in this beautiful, perfect stab right behind. You know, like a matador finishes a bull? It's going to go right into the back.
With a much bigger knife.
Yes.
I understand the concept. I have limited exposure to bullfights in my sheltered North American life, but I do know what you're talking about.
Ooh, that is a 20.
So you stab the maggot in the back of the head and then strain to pull it back out as the maggot collapses on the floor in front of Trill, dead.
I don't think I've gotten rid of this like downward, grossed out pout this entire last 10 minutes.
Let's say scowl. Scowl feels more
I like
generous.
scowl, yeah.
There's some gross stuff in this adventure, Robin. And also, like, I think it's a thing that I enjoy about running games like this is, like, let's make this disgusting. Is that something we can do?
So I would also like to point out, I am not squeamish. I love insects, actually. I used to volunteer at the Natural History Museum in the kids section, and I would love talking with kids about bugs. But I hate maggots. That is just the one specific thing that I hate.
I get it.
Too many bad experiences with maggots.
I don't love them either. Does Vadim have any more actions?
He has one. He is going to just raise his buckler, and that will be his turn.
He's just going to pee on that maggot.
So to Mag's immediate south, you just saw Vadim skewer this maggot. It is Mag's turn now.
Am I still raging, or is that
You
worn
are,
off?
yeah. You rage until you don't see any more monsters.
Dope. So Mag, in her rage, saw this thing step toward Trill, and was just a fresh wave of fury was starting to overtake her. Now that she sees that it's dead, she briefly, wild-eyed, looks from the creature to Trill, and finally to Vadim, and screams, "Thank you!" And how she's
angriest thank you I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But also genuine. It's a really beautiful blend.
I love it.
Yeah.
If Trill weren't so grossed out, she'd be touched.
I'm trying to remember my range. I think I can still move 25. Has my breastplate slowed me down? Where do I see this?
No. Armors only slow you down if you're not strong enough to wear them, and you are certainly strong enough to wear a breastplate.
Yes. All right. So just at the edge of her range, there is one final spot to the north of the maggot that will keep it from scuttling and escaping out the door.
So Mag scrambles up over this rubble and lands blocking the maggot's exit path.
Action 2. I'm going to end up with an extra one, so I guess I might as well demoralize it first.
Sure. So demoralize is you do an intimidation check versus the enemy's will DC, which is their will saving throw plus 10. You're going to have a little bit of a negative to it because this maggot, it may not surprise you, does not speak common. But also, you probably don't need to roll that well because this maggot, it also is no surprise, is not smart.
Looks pretty
Does
stupid.
it hate itself?
Failed the
Let's see
marshmallow
if you're
test.
able to frighten this maggot despite it not understanding your language.
Absolutely.
Boogie.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's an intimidation check?
That's intimidation.
You just cover your face. Boo. Boo.
All right, so Mag sort of scurries over and cuts this thing off before it can get outside, and then while standing right in front of it goes, let's see, what would she say? She'd say like,
Nailed it.
and,
Killed it.
First take.
and that is a 17 to freak it out.
Okay, so that's 17 with your -4 due to the fact that it does not speak your language. It shrinks away from you and cowers with fear.
Yay! As it should.
So it's now frightened, yeah?
It's now frightened, which means that all of its numbers are lower. Its armor class is lower, its attack rolls are lower, the whole kit, and also the caboodle.
Mag lets out another little rage chortle. So that would be something like,
These are incredibly specific chortles that you're throwing out.
Yeah,
This is a tapestry of chortles that you're weaving.
This is a new side of
He's
Mag
got
that
a
I'm
whole
loving.
dictionary of them.
yeah, I've been
just a book with a bunch of H's written down in it.
I've been practicing
Caps, no caps.
my onomatopoeias.
Hey!
Oh, wow, do I dislike that. Why don't you go ahead and give me that attack roll that you've been building up towards this entire time?
Oh, no, for my third action, I'm just going to interact with... No.
Okay,
All right,
just
here
give
we
it
go.
a pet.
We're going to befriend it before we kill it.
That's always worked out for us before.
Oh,
Pretty
Gary.
sick
Gary.
stuff.
R.I.P. Gary.
So Mag hits it with the flail, and that is a 11 to hit.
And that is just not enough to hit. You just barely miss it.
It's shrunk
Miss
down
this-
so much. It's
this
so
frightened-
feeble.
All right, I freaked it out, guys. Somebody finish it
Trill,
off.
you just saw Mag scramble across this rubble, scream in this maggot's face, and then plant her flail in the ground next to the maggot. What will you do?
Well, I'm mad that this maggot is near my dear friend. So Trill, with her harp in her hand still, strums a couple strings, and with this tune, a kind of very kind of Metallica-style metal song comes out. She's got some anger building up, and she uses her telekinetic projectile.
Okay, throwing a bit of rubble in the direction of the maggot.
Yeah. And that's a 23, 15 on the die plus 8.
So what that means is that, can you describe to me this critical hit that you just hit this maggot with?
Ooh.
So with some of the rubble from the room, she uses the song of her harp to raise it up in the air with this raging tune, and it leaps across the room at the maggot and smacks it right in the back of where it would be its head, and it kind of embeds into the gooey surface of the maggot's flesh.
Everyone just got Robin's face that she's had the whole
She just
fucking
passed it on to all.
toenail.
You're welcome.
It's gone from her face, but we're all dealing with it.
So that means you deal double damage. So go ahead, roll damage, and let's double it. Let's see if you roll higher than a 2.
So that was 6 plus 4, and then double that, so 20.
So 20 is certainly more than enough to deplete the 2 remaining hit points it had as in 2 short rounds, you burst into the room, scream at these maggots, flip out, shoot them with bows, slice them open, bash them apart, and you are standing once more in this room that is open to the elements. You just hear the sound of the sounds of the fog fen, the chirping of various oversized insects,
And the deflating of the maggots.
the deflating of the maggots as you look around the room, realizing that you have taken care of this situation.
The whole room is stone, right?
Yeah, except for the wall that Mags is standing by, which is stone that has been blasted apart into just rubble, so you could potentially leave the room by that exit. There is a door to the north. There's the door to the east leading back into the hallway that you came through, and then there is a door on a diagonal facing wall leading to the southwest.
So Norman steps into the room. He's been outside of it hiding, and he goes, I don't want to see any more of those things. Let's burn him and this frog. If it would be, I don't want to start a fucking fire in the room, right? That's going to hurt anyone, but he wants to he has a torch. He wants to light the frog on fire so no more maggots can fester in it, and maybe burn the bodies of the maggots just in case maggots infest maggots. Maybe they all drag the maggot that's over by Mag over to make a pile of carcasses or something.
So you look around the room, and this seems like a pretty foolproof plan. Any wood that was here has either decayed or become so soaked through with moisture from the humidity that it doesn't seem like there's any risk of you creating any kind of wildfire situation. So you're able to move the bodies of these maggots that you've just slain towards the giant frog on this pile of rubble, and burning the bodies takes you about 20 minutes to accomplish, but you can get it done.
Really was a barbecue joint, he says to himself under his breath.
Were you just waiting for this moment?
I was. I woke up in the middle of the night last night and had a thought to myself of we got to burn that frog so we don't go back in that room 6 months from now and have more maggots pop out of that thing. Be why didn't we just burn the fucking frog?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea to burn carcasses when we know maggots infest them.
Mm. It can be your calling card, in Home Alone when the
wet
thieves
bandits?
leave. The wet bandits. You can be the burning all of the bodies adventure.
Norman Core. First I throw them at you, then I burn them.
This explains why when I woke
Core.
up this morning to go get our kids, as Zoe she appeared to be still asleep, but she was kind of tossing and turning in bed and whispering under her breath, "We have to burn the frogs."
So during these 20 minutes when Norman is working on doing this, what is everybody else doing?
I can't get back. I can only, through resting, get back 1 focus point, right? Like up to 1 max of all of my 2 focus points.
No, you can only get you heal 1 back. So the deal with focus points.
So I could heal back my second focus point.
You can heal back your second focus point.
Let's do that.
The issue is if in a combat you use 2 focus points,
I can only heal back 1.
You'll only get 1 back.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yep. So Trill's gonna get her second focus point back.
So the way that focus points work in this game, if you are familiar with like Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition, which a lot of people are only familiar with it in as much as they want to make fun of it for not being a good game. And to those people, I say, shame on you. That game is good. But that game introduced things called...
rejoinder.
How dare you, you anonymous person. You straw man that I just invented. So that game had like encounter powers that you could use once per encounter. The focus spells in this game are similar to that, except that if you want to, you can use a bunch of them. It's just that you have to wait until later levels to get all of your focus points back. So if you want to hit the gas, you could use Inspire, you could use Lingering Composition like twice in one fight, but then for the rest of the day, you'd be limited to using it only once in a
Inspire
fight.
Courage, right? Oh no, right, because the cantrips are the one that take it down. Or I'm sorry, the first level.
No, the other
Inspire
way.
Courage is a cantrip, so that never costs a focus point.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, but Counter Performance and Lingering Composition are first level focus spells, so they cost focus points.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what else is happening?
Nailed it.
Mag took a little damage, and if we're going to be waiting 20 minutes to burn the frogs anyway, she would try to treat wounds on herself.
And you know who wants to help her?
Yeah, no, she's very pleased that Norman is distracted, and so she can go ahead and try to treat her own wounds since she has the same bonus.
So Mag pulls out a healing kit to attempt to heal her own wounds.
Vadim sort of sees all this happening, frowns, and walks up to Mag and says, this is completely unnecessary. Allow me. The goddess, she will help you. And he lays on hands, restoring...
Yes, lays on hands!
6 points of health, which I think should bring her back to full health.
That's full health for Mag. And Mag, by now her blood pressure having returned to normal, looks down in startlement as she's never seen something like this before, and looks back up at Vadim and says, I thought I had something to thank you for earlier, and now I'm twice in your debt.
Trill's sitting over by them, and Trill's just looks, she's like, tell me more about who you worship?
Oh, the Lady Pharasma. You know, she takes souls, but some she is not in a hurry to get. For instance, if I am around, she gets a lot more with me on the battlefield.
Trill just wide-eyed nods.
And under her breath, Mag sort of, just to herself, not to anyone else, says, she takes souls.
I'm going to say, I just want to let you know, all of your characters would be certainly familiar with Pharasma. Like, Pharasma is the goddess of death, the goddess of life. This is not you may not have, like, had a lot of interaction with clergy of Pharasma, but, like, Pharasma is, like, people talk about how she's the oldest of the deities in the pantheon. Everybody is aware of death. Anybody who's aware of death is aware of Pharasma, basically.
Trill, in her travels, she would not have really spent a lot of time with clergy, so she wouldn't have really seen lay on hands in the past.
Right, totally. That makes sense.
Mag's family cut down trees for a living, so that was definitely surprising.
Norman is like listening to all of this, but like appearing, you know, the guy at the barbecue who's always like fiddling with the grill unnecessarily, and you're like, it just can't be this complicated. He like he like sees the healing happen. He feels sort of self-conscious. He like knows he couldn't have done as well, maybe in his heart, although he'd never admit it. So he's also kind of scouting around the room while the fire is burning. Like, he wants to make sure the frog burns, but he's looking at, like, if there's small rocks, he's moving them around just to see if there's anything in there. Look, he's checking for traps too, just to make sure there's like anything he can learn about this room and what's there, so that he looks like he's busy barbecuing.
As you look around, you get the impression that I think anybody who's investigating also sees this, but you get the sense that this is sort of a holding pen for
Frogs?
maggots. Like, you get the impression that somebody has dragged this frog here for the purpose of hatching these maggots out of it into this room.
Mifflets.
Or thieves.
Possibly both working together.
Yeah, both working together.
It's probably a conspiracy between the two.
Yeah. Vadim is going to use the remaining 10 minutes to refocus.
So Vadim contemplates life and death for 10 minutes and gets his focus points back.
Yeah, he's just like staring at the dead frog in a very disturbing way for like 10 minutes, unmoving.
Dear Lord.
I guess while
That's excellent.
Vadim is doing that, Mag is mostly interested in the door to the southwest.
Agreed.
But wants to take a quick look in the northeast corner at the staircase leading up. Not to go up it, but just to kind of see what its deal is or what else can be gleaned from it.
Okay, so you grab onto the staircase with your hands, and you feel this moss having grown onto the railing. You crane your head around and look up into the overcast sky above. You see some like creeper vines coming down around the border of the ceiling as this staircase moves up into this hole. And you see a moth fly by and land for a second and then fly off again. But beyond the sort of natural order of the swamp, you don't see anything in particular up this staircase.
Okay, so there isn't a second floor of this structure. It's a staircase that leads to nothing, or I'm looking up at the second floor. I just can't see anything up there.
So the entire second floor of this fortress is gone.
Got it.
The however many floors there were back when this place was being kept up, the only thing remaining is the first floor, and even the ceiling or the roof of the first floor is missing in many places, such as the top of the staircase, the area of the rubble. Like, you look up and you can feel like the faint misting of either fog or an extremely light rain upon you. But that's been the case sort of throughout this fortress, is that it's one floor, and even that is in pretty rough shape.
All right, Mag calls out to Trill. Trill, you want to take a look up here?
And Trill comes over. What's up here?
Well, I can't see much from down here, and I don't know if it's strong enough to hold me.
So, the stairs? So you want Trill to go up the stairs?
Yeah, or like we could go up together, and then you could take a look at whatever's left of the ceiling.
Yeah, Trill can go up.
I could hold you on my shoulders so you could take a look.
Yeah, so Trill will go up those stairs. Yeah, that's fine. She'll do that.
Had the time of my life. Another callback
the
from
lift
the
from
time you
Dirty
guys did the yeah.
While Vadim meditates, Trill and Mag practice the lift from Dirty Dancing.
While Trill and Mag are practicing the lift from Dirty Dancing. I know it's daylight, so it's not that it's dark, right? I can see everything fine.
It's daylight.
Okay.
It's absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so Trill's kind of, from her vantage point of being up on Mag's shoulders, can Trill see, is there anything else, any new information that Trill gains?
Cool?
No, you just sort of feel the mist of the fog on your face as you smell a combination of decaying wood and fresh plant life.
Yeah, nothing else. I guess we gotta check another room.
Yeah, maybe that door to the southwest.
Vadim sort of slowly starts coming out of his focus, and a big grin spreads on his face, and really relaxes, shakes it off. Let's go.
So you all head over towards this door on the diagonal wall in the southwest corner of the room.
Norman draws out a dagger. He's freaked out. He's freaked out from Haplo. He's freaked out from the maggots. So he's got just a dagger in his hand. He's trying to stay stealth and hidden per usual, but
Mag is going to defend as always.
So Mag pulls her shield up.
Shield up.
Trill's got her harp ready to go should she need to send off an attacker. Healing of any sort.
So are you sort of looking out for people that are potentially attacking then?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say that Trill is scouting. And what is Vadim doing?
I think he'll look for traps and secret doors.
Okay. So Vadim starts searching. Mag pulls her shield up. Norm has a dagger out and is attempting to blend into the wall. And Trill is looking out for what some people call bogeys. What's next?
Mag wants to sit down and meditate about Pharasma for 10 minutes. No, it's time to open the door. Let's do it.
Mag pushes the door open. And this door basically just disintegrates as you open it. It's so waterlogged. You look into the room, and you can see that this was, at one point, a watch post. There are arrow slits in the walls, places that people trying to defend this keep could potentially hide behind to get cover while they're shooting arrows out at potential invaders. The ceiling is about 15 feet high, and there's a thick mound of filth and animal carcasses heaped on the floor in the middle of the room. But the first thing that you really notice here is a creature the size of a pony.
oh, how unusual. Everything's been so small until now.
It's a magnificent creature with a shining blue and green coloring.
Ooh.
And a pair of shimmering membranous wings.
Ooh.
It's an enormous fly.
No, it's the fly that the maggots turn into!
Oh.
And it's gorging itself on a massive pile of food. As the door falls off of the hinges, the fly whips around, and Mag sees its myriad compound eyes sort of staring for a brief moment, and then suddenly it seems to tense up as though it has identified a new source of food, and it flies buzzing frantically towards you. Roll for initiative.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, Norman with the crappy initiative. I guess when you're hiding, you want to go last. I don't know. I'm not going to make excuses for him.
I don't think that's true.
That wasn't good.
Nope, me either. But Norman wants you to think he thinks it's true, and that's what matters.
Oh.
That was not great. Yet again.
So sorry, just to clarify, I did ask. No one bought the enormous fly swatter at Rinse when we were there.
No, we missed that one.
At the time, it just seemed so excessive and non-necessary, you know?
What did you guys roll for initiative?
Trill rolled an 8.
19
8 for Norman
Mag.
as well.
Vadim got a 22.
Oh,
my
look at
God,
you. Look
showy
at
pants.
Vadim. First day on the team. Suddenly this guy's the talk of the town.
Well, yeah, but things started okay for Haplo, too, let's keep in mind.
Haplo,
man.
schmaplo. This guy can lay on hands, am I
Haplo
right?
was VIP.
And what is Mag's initiative?
19 for Mag.
All right, here we go. First up in the order, it is the new kid in town, Vadim Drakkeshku. You see this fly barreling towards Mag, the size of a horse, I tell you, buzzing its beautiful gossamer wings.
Is it a
What?
horsefly?
I love it. I love it. It is Vadim's turn. What do you do?
Vadim is going to stride.
So Vadim barrels into the room, pushing past Mag to get adjacent to this fly.
Yeah.
Is this where we find out the room is covered with glass and you just didn't let us know until now?
Oh, that's a great idea. Let's do that one.
Okay. Acrobatics saving check.
No, no glass, just carcasses and filth, as I expressed before.
My kind of party. Vadim draws his sword, and in a quick snap cut, he tries to slash while sort of leaping away in this sort of swift fencer's strike to try and slice at the fly's wing.
So the fly uses a reaction to try to dodge out of the way, as it whips back and forth to try to avoid your attack.
It was a 17 on the die for a 24.
So that is a hit. The fly swings back and forth trying to avoid your hit, and you still connect with it.
Perfect. All right, I will roll the damage. 2 damage. So it's just a glancing blow.
2 damage to the fly. That is 3 actions from Vadim. That means that it is now the fly's turn. The fly, similar to the maggot that it evolved from in Pokemon terms. I know that that's not how flies work with maggots in real life. It's a metamorphosis. Look, we all get it. Here come the mandibles coming straight at Drakkesku's neck. I'm calling you by your last name. That is going to be a 12 to hit.
That's not going to hit.
So you get a blade up, ting, knock the fly out of the way. The fly is going to then go bzzz and start flying across the room into the main portion of the hallway, into the room that everybody else was hiding behind. Fly sees a cluster of people standing around outside the room. It's Mag, it's Norman, and it is Trill. And I'm going to roll a 3-sided die to see which of the 3 of you this maggot is going to attack.
Oh, no.
So that is a 5 on a d6, which turns into a 3 on a d3. That equals Trill. So the fly buzzes past you, lands on the ground next to Trill, opens its mouth, and tries to clamp down on Trill. That's going to be a pretty good roll, a 19 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Okay.
I'm going to use redeeming glimpse.
You're unfortunately out of range of Glimpse of Redemption. You are just barely not able to reach them with your glimpse, sadly.
That even though the arc of my bummer. Okay, cool.
So Vadim strains to try to tell this fly to try to be a better being than it is. It doesn't
Fly,
work.
have you considered not sucking so much?
So the mandibles sink down into Trill's flesh for 7 points of damage, and you start feeling real weird as the fly bites you. Can I please have a fortitude saving throw?
Yes. And that's a 21.
You feel this bite start to burn you as it bites into you. And you strain with all of your might to resist, and the feeling passes after a brief moment.
Great. What was that damage again before?
7.
A 7, that's what I thought. Okay.
7 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
It is now...
And then I didn't get whatever it was trying to give me through that bite. Great.
It is now Mag's turn. You've just seen this fly land past you, sink its mandibles into Trill. What do you do?
Mags, it itches!
Mag rages. All right, Mag is gonna.
Now that's how you play a barbarian.
Oh, I see. So it's not tentatively standing outside doors and throwing javelins at shit and missing.
Right.
Okay,
It's
cool.
not just throwing. It's not just throwing Tic Tacs at ghosts. You actually have to like punch a guy.
New to the game, everybody. All right, Mag rages. So she sees this thing land there, and of all people, go after Trill, and
Who
Mag.
you just got the Dirty Dancing lift all figured out with.
Exactly. So Mag, the tightness and the burning building in her chest as fury fills her body, looks at the fly and says, "Absolutely not." She draws her flail and she bashes the ridiculous little thing.
It's a thing the size of a horse. I just want to
She
reiterate that.
bashes it's the size of a horse.
Never mind. Run.
Yeah, no. I was just wondering whether
Javelin.
All right. She's gonna bash it, and that is a 16 to hit.
That is not a hit.
No,
It
it's
dodges
definitely
out
not.
of the way.
But it's cool
your
because we
flail.
have an approach to combat in this party, which is that the barbarian goes in first, swings and misses, and then the gnome crits the thing until it dies.
Yes, this is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Give it time.
Norman sees Mag's attack miss. Norman is sort of pinned in by this fly and by Mag. What is Norman going to do? Norman was attempting to hide, and suddenly this fly bursts through this doorway and lands right next to him. So what's the move?
I assume they are not, like, this thing isn't so big that he and Mag are flanking it.
No, you'd have to be on opposite.
Mag is south of it, and I'm west of it, right?
Right, but if you were to move, if you were to just step around it, you would definitely be flanking with it.
So Norman steps to the north of it. He's got his dagger in his hand, and he just goes, I was gonna make some fucking joke about ashes to ashes and fling those coals at you, but I'm just gonna make use with what I got. And he hurls the dagger that's in his hand at this thing.
Are you hurling it, or are you just slicing?
Or I guess just, well, I don't know how.
It's just a melee attack.
Is it staying in your hand, or is it coming out of your hand?
It's staying. I think he's gonna dart in. Okay, he hurls the dagger for 14, which is probably not gonna be a hit.
Yeah, so you the fly pinned down between both you and Mag, that is still not going to be a hit.
And he shouts in frustration, ah! Stabs into the maggot again. For 2.
So Norman runs behind the fly, stabs at it twice in rapid succession, and misses both times. Trill, you are also standing right next to the fly. Mag and Norman have been going to work on it, but having basically no effect. What do you do?
So Trill's gonna try and inspire some courage. Let's start there. So she's gonna cast Lingering Composition first, using a focus point.
Yeah, nice. I think it's worth saying that it's like you really want to roll high on initiative, and you have not been lucky with that.
It's a pain in the ass
tonight.
Yeah, because I'd really like to get that out earlier. So Lingering Composition. So I need to do a performance check.
Yes, please.
20.
So that's a success, meaning that the next focus cantrip you do is going to last for 3 rounds. As Trill is able to dig deep and pull out a good performance for this next move.
Fantastic. So now she's going to go ahead and inspire some courage.
Yes.
So everyone's got some courage now.
For 3 rounds.
Love having that courage. Yes. And now that she's done something to help everyone around her, that was one action. For her second and third action, her arm's kind of burning from where that bug bit her because she's kind of allergic to bug bites. So she's going to try and cool it. But then she thinks, oh, I don't have anything to put on my arm. So instead, I'll just cast a ray of frost at this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, the Trill special.
So she's going to go ahead and attack with Ray of Frost. And she attacks for 24.
Ooh. 24 is a hit as a jet of frost arcing over Mag's head as she misses again, and the gnome connects one more time for 5 points of...
Yes, 5 damage. So not the best damage I could have done, but not bad.
5 points of cold damage, yeah.
So what have we done, like 6 points of damage to this thing?
The wings of the fly crinkle for a second, and then a plume of frost bursts off of them. Trill, you hear a sound coming from the room to your southwest.
Oh no. Oh no.
And that sound is a buzzing sound that gets louder and louder.
Isn't Vadim in there?
And then slam, just above Vadim, a trapdoor overhead bursts open as a second giant fly emerges into the room.
No!
This one doesn't seem as though it's been attended to in the same way as the one you've been contending with. It's got a dull brown color with patches of blue, and it's covered in a thick layer of mud. It flies towards the food in the corner of the room, sees Vadim, pauses for a moment, decides that Vadim is food as well, and lunges forward to attack Vadim.
Good luck getting through that armor.
The mandibles come out and clamp down on Vadim. Does a critical miss hit you, Matt?
Generally, no.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Rules question. Do critical misses hit?
So that's a 1 on the die. That's as it just clangs into one of the many daggers that you have festooning your bod.
Bend
And
the
here comes a
points.
second mandible strike as it just keeps biting. Does a 17 hit you?
17 will not hit Vadim. No.
What? Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
I just want to say that thing
so
seems to have had a lot of actions. It came out, it ate some prey, it looked at Vadim, it went and bit him, it tried to bite him again. I don't know. Are the rest of us going to get 5? I'm just
Are
saying.
you saying Vadim is not tasty? That he does not inspire desire to be eaten?
Deliciousness.
Yeah.
Vadim
look,
is
Zoe,
delicious.
Zoe, when you're running a game, you get to cheat in as many ways as you want to.
Noted.
In the meantime, it is Vadim's turn. You have just fended off 2 mandible strikes from this giant fly. What do you do?
Vadim is going to draw a dagger. He's going to make a strike with his dueling sword at the not quite so nice fly. So that is 16 on the die for a 24.
As your dueling sword slices through the fly.
Awesome. We'll roll damage. That is 7 damage.
Okay, 7 points of slashing damage to the fly as it starts flying slightly off kilter, but still buzzes back and forth.
And then Vadim is going to make a strike with his offhand dagger at the fly. A 12 on the die for a 16, which I'm...
So you're slightly off balance as you push forward, and the fly swivels just a couple degrees out of your way as you slash forward, slightly off balance. Your arm trails along to the side, and you come back with nothing.
Ugh.
At this point, the fly that is standing between Norman and Mag starts buzzing, looking for something to eat. So here we go. It's another D3. 1 is Norman, 2 is Mag, 3 is Trill. That is a 1 to get to Norman. So the fly
Not that I want
opens
Norman
up-
to get bit. I just don't want to get bitten again.
Sure.
the fly opens up its mandibles and bites at Norman. That's an 11 to hit as it is thrown off balance
Not
for
gonna
just a
do it.
second.
Not going to do it.
And it's going to try that one more time as it bites a second time. This one looking better. It's a 13 to hit.
Still not quite.
Okay.
Norman mumbles to himself, not so easy, is it?
Can Norman learn his bite attack from the fly?
Oh my god, please.
This fly is going to fly to the edge of the room bzzz,
Gain
as it
knowledge
flies
check.
on the far side of the rubble. It is now Mag's turn. This fly has just flown away from you. You are in a major rage. You look to your right, you see Vadim squaring off against another fly. You look to your left, you see the first fly sort of repositioning on its 6 long legs, trying to figure out who it wants to attack next. So, what does Mag do?
Mag is going to pursue the fly across the room to the east. So she screams out at it, "You're not going anywhere!" And moves, I guess, let's see, somewhere where somebody else could flank it at the end. So she'll move directly north of it.
So Mag runs along the edge of this rubble in the middle of the room, sort of teetering to keep balance as she runs forward and lands on the far side of the fly.
Weapon is already out. So she will first demoralize it. She's going to scream in this thing's face and say, so she screams, "You appear susceptible to demoralization."
That's the most terrifying words in the English language.
Yeah.
If anybody said that to me, I would be like, whoa, buddy.
That's it. I'm done.
Susceptible in need, friend.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you need?
Soren's first words.
You got me pegged, dude.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, she'll say something cooler. She'll say,
We're burning your babies in a fire over there? I don't know.
yeah, she'll say like, "You're not as giant as I thought you might be."
Again, just absolute terror in the eyes of this fly.
So cutting.
And there are a lot of eyes.
And that is a 22 to intimidate.
So 22 is enough to frighten the fly as it jerks backwards erratically and keeps its eyes trained on you. Despite the fact that it does not speak your language, that is still enough to frighten it.
All right, so for her third action, Mag is going to swing her flail somewhere near it. And that is a 15 to hit.
You, again, are one short of the hit. You have been one short of the hit every time tonight, I feel like.
Yep. But it's good practice, you know? I'm getting good at clicking the flail strike button.
Yeah.
So Norman hears Mag shout out at the fly. You see the fly and Mag on the other side of this large pile of rubble, and the fly looks both distracted by Mag and terrified of her. What would you like to do?
He runs up next to it. So on the south side of it, Mag is on the north side of it, so that they're flanking it and it's flat-footed. And he says, "A broken clock is right twice a day." He tries to stab it with his dagger again, because it's already out, and that way he can do it twice. And that is an 18.
18 is absolutely a hit. It is frightened. It is distracted by Mag, and you find a soft spot in its underbelly, so you can apply sneak attack damage.
7.
Okay, so you find a spot in its underbelly for 7 points of damage, and you have one more action. As you cut into it, and it hisses in pain.
He goes, "Well, it was right once today," and he stabs again. That's 17.
And that is also a hit, as you find another, you stab it twice in rapid succession, finding a weak spot twice in a row, and you can apply sneak attack damage again.
And that is 6 damage.
So 6 more points of piercing damage as you find a weak point in its thorax, stab it through the thorax, and it collapses on the ground, twitching a couple times before it dies.
And Norman does a little dance, and he goes, 2 times, 2 times.
I think that Mag has the presence of mind to know that all of that happened because she was flanking that fly. So Trill behind her hears the sound of the fly collapsing onto the ground, the sound of a horse falling and splatting onto the ground, and she is able to see through the doorway Vadim squaring off against a fly in this small watchtower. What does Trill do?
Trill
Credit to death.
shouts, "Nice job, Norman!" Kind of only half believing she even just said that, and she's going to take a step forward towards the door so that she can see this fly.
So Trill steps into the door frame and sees and gets a clear perspective on this conflict.
Exactly. She sees this fly, so she's going to use her telekinetic projectile on this guy, taking a rock and flinging it at one of its eyes.
So whoosh, a rock flies over Trill's head and starts hurtling towards the fly. This is the brown fly that is not as cool as the first fly.
Yes, correct. And she flings an 18's worth at it.
And the fly gets bludgeoned in its compound eye for how much damage?
Fantastic. For a respectable 10 points.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that Trill is just the damage master in this party. That's
Incredible.
so
10 points
Excuse
damage,
me.
20 points of damage.
Incredible.
You just need to do a little bit of a flare, guys.
The fly responds to being smacked with first shock and then bzzz, flies forward to the door frame, sees Trill, and bursts through the door with its mandibles wide open and does a strike against Trill.
Did not
That's
have
a pretty
time.
good roll. That is 23 to hit.
That's going to be a hit. I wish I'd had one more extra action to be able to raise my shield.
Vadim will say, "Not today."
And like he's surrounded by this eerie pale light that like is like misty and glowing off of him. And he just points his finger at the fly, and like weird pale glowing mist surrounds its forehead in a crown, like pattern of lights.
Cool.
The fly pauses for a moment, just like shocked, and then resumes and attempts to bite Trill anyway.
Okay.
Breaking through the glimpse of redemption that Vadim just gave to it. So that's gonna be 7 points of damage minus whatever it is that Vadim is taking away from the hit, as it is shaken by Vadim's mental nonsense.
Yeah. It is 3 points of resistance to Trill, and
so Trill is
then
going to take a total of 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And the fly is enfeebled.
And the fly
too.
is now enfeebled too, as the fly starts flying erratically.
Great.
At this point, Trill feels a burning sensation in her arm. Can I please have a fortitude saving throw?
This again.
She's like,
As you feel this pox intruding upon you.
Yes, 22.
And again, Trill grits her teeth and the feeling passes. The fly has one more action.
Oh, no.
And it's going to try to bite Trill one more time.
Trill is hurting.
It's a 12 to hit.
Oh, but the fly.
Not hurting that
that
bad.
fly's enfeebled. That bite
The
does
fly
nothing.
is enfeebled. Yeah, enfeebled sucks.
feeble
Let's talk about
fly.
enfeebled for a second. So enfeebled reduces the amount of damage it does and makes it less likely to hit if it's attacking with strength, which this is. So it's really a bad condition for me to get. Not that anybody cares about how I'm doing, but it is an issue. Vadim, you just
Trill's
see,
still alive.
So you just hear the sound of like these fly mandibles sinking into Trill's flesh. Then you hear another sort of failed clank as the mandibles snap together and do not hit. You turn around, see the fly with Trill behind it. You realize that you were flanking this fly with Trill through the doorway. What do you do?
He makes a quick flourish with his swords and then goes right in for the first attack, which is going to be with the dueling sword.
Love the swords plural. It's like quietly badass.
That is a 26.
So that is against this fly that is busy trying to bite Trill, a critical hit.
Nice. So let's roll critical.
David, how come you can't roll critical hits like that? What's going on? What's the story?
I think it's because I'm still learning the rules. Yeah, I know you said I have access to the core rule book.
Right.
And I'm
But you gotta
way
read it. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Once
I'm
you get
reading
through
my
it,
I
yeah.
just haven't finished to get to the point where I'd learn how to roll critical hits.
So Trill, you see this fly fail to bite you. You hear a clang of steel on carapace, and then suddenly you see the fly bisected perfectly, falling in half, and you see Vadim on the other side of the fly as this fly is now also dead.
I'm gonna write a song about you.
I'm so flattered.
Trill's songs got real weird after she went to that lighthouse.
There once was a man named Vadim.
I liked her early stuff.
So both of these flies are now a non-issue as you've dispatched both the fly that was feeding in this watchtower and another fly that slammed in through a trapdoor above you.
Let's burn them.
Well, there's a whole room full of dead things in there, right? Like this is a whole little fun Corpseville.
Yes, it's you.
Otari.
So Norman goes into the room and investigates, and you get the impression that this was sort of a feeding room for this fly.
Is it the
or
big
for the
sign that
first
says fly feeding room on the wall? Is that what tips him off?
That's the one. Although it's written in a language that you don't know, you can tell that the first fly that you ran into has been kept in this room as a kind of pen for it to stay in.
I guess Norman is like poking around through stuff. I mean, one, to see if there's any cool teeth he might pull off of a corpse, and two, to see if there's anything else in there.
The bodies that have been dragged into this room are all from wildlife from around the fog fen.
So these are not our missing thieves.
So like
No, you don't see
squirrels.
any. You don't see any humanoid bodies in the room.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's all animal carcasses.
Is it possible that a swamp lore check would get us anything more interesting, dispositive than that?
Yeah, absolutely. You look through these animals and you can tell that somebody has gone off on hunting expeditions around the swamp and has found a wide variety of the local fauna to feed to this fly.
Are any of the teeth filled with venom or something Norman could use? I mean, he's taken a random sampling, but is there anything in here that like has venom or
No, it seems like these are all like herbivores that have been found here.
Cool.
Trill's gonna take a healing potion unless someone else can do something to heal her.
I gotcha.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't take a healing potion.
And also, don't let Norman touch you.
Yeah.
Aw. You know what? Our
He's got
rolls have
plenty of
gotten a lot
gauze.
better recently.
Speak for
I didn't
yourself.
see you kill that fly.
Well, at any rate, Vadim can just sort of like look at people and heal them, right?
Yeah.
Is that how this works?
Yeah, Trill could definitely use some healing, Vadim.
Yeah. Vadim will lay on hands.
Pardon me, do you mind?
And Norman's in the background, like unrolling gauze from his kit as if he's participating in this.
I guess. Well, while this is going on, it's occurring to Mag that the second fly, I believe, entered via a trap door in the ceiling.
Yeah, this was where I was
So
going to go next.
someone, or it seems plausible that someone will have done that. Will have opened the door and thrown the fly in. So I guess Mag is interested in seeing if there's a way to get up there to take a look at what's happening with the trapdoor above, or if it's not a good idea for her because she's too big, if maybe it would be possible for somebody else to do it.
So Mag heads in to this room and sees that it's going to take some bit of work to try to climb to the trapdoor. Doesn't seem like a size issue, but it's going to take somebody with some athletic prowess to get up there.
Well, Mag has plenty of that.
As Mag takes a look at this trapdoor, Trill gets healed for 6 points of damage from Vadim's lay on hands.
Do you need more? Should we try and treat wounds too?
And Norman does an attempt to treat wounds.
That'd be
It's a
great.
medicine check.
Yeah, I need both.
That's
fly
a
was
21.
vicious.
Yeah.
21 beats 15. That means that Trill gets 2d8 hit points back as Mag tries to position herself to climb up towards this trapdoor. Can I please have an athletics check?
That is a 20.
Okay, so Mag is able to find gaps in the stones, is able to find vines growing through the room, and climbs up to the trapdoor. So Mag looks around and sees no indication of any kind of tampering with this. You don't get the impression as you take a look at this trapdoor that this is a creation of any recent creature. It seems more that whoever it is that set up this food in this room had no idea that there was another access point to get into it to eat all of this food that they had put into it.
Does it seem plausible that the second fly managed to open this door on, or like
Absolutely,
get in on its
like
own?
this.
Okay.
Yeah, like you look at it and you can this door looks as though both of the flies that you've seen can potentially pass as they want to in and out of this
Got it.
room, no
It's like
problem.
a cat door. It's like
Anything
a fly
else
door.
interesting?
It's
up
like
here?
a cat door, but for a horse-sized fly.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
a horse-sized fly door. Is anything else
pending.
interesting up here? Any mitflit poop full of treasure? Nothing like that.
You don't see any indication that the mitflits have been up here at all.
While this is going on, Vadim is going to take 10 minutes to refocus.
Okay, so 10 minutes later, Vadim gets his focus points back, and you are standing in this room that is a fly holding pen that seems to have an access point that the purveyors of the pen were not aware of. What would you like to do?
Hey guys, this room smells really bad.
Yes.
Can we
let us
move
not-
on? I can't.
Well, I feel like we should do
can't
something
be
with this
here anymore.
access point.
The
should we
other
seal it?
room
Burn it
opens
down?
to the opens to the outside. I think we should move on.
Okay. Yeah, me
Um,
too, says Norman. Clearly having not thought that at all, but respecting Vadim.
Yeah, let's get out of the stinky room. And
I think do we have to like wait to tend the fire again if we want to burn all this shit?
If you want to burn the stuff, yeah, you can take the time to set up another pile and burn these bodies as well.
It seems like so no more huge flies come.
Yep.
I don't know.
I like that.
Sure.
Norman's good at busy barbecuing.
So you pile up these bodies and continue to burn them in fear that more maggots are going to be grown from these bodies. By the time you're done with that, it's around 1:40 in the afternoon. The sun, you're able to look up and see the pale glow of the sun through the overcast sky as you look through the hole in the ceiling of this room that you first encountered these maggots.
should we go through this door on the northern side of the room?
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
One more door to the north.
Okay, and as you're exploring, what are you doing?
Trill's scouting.
Vadim's searching.
Yeah, Norman's looking for traps and trying to stay hidden.
Mag briefly looks at her flail just to check if it's balanced the way that she's used to during practice, or if maybe it's gotten jostled on the way up, or maybe there's a tooth stuck to it in a weird place that's throwing off the ballast.
Can make all the difference.
But no, she'll raise her shield by the door, wherever she's at by the door.
Okay. So, who's opening this door?
Mag's the muscle.
Yeah.
I hope that was in air quotes. Yes. Mag is going to open the door.
So Mag opens the door, and you all step into the room. It's a room that Norman saw previously by looking in through an arrow slit. Like all of the rooms at the perimeter of the keep, this is fortified, and there are arrow slits to potentially fend off invaders. This is a dining room. There's a collapsed ceiling at the middle of the room, which has left a ragged hole in the wooden roof. Rotten tapestries, their designs completely obscured by mold, hang in tatters on the walls between the arrow slits and ruined side tables. The remains of a fancy dining table lie, mostly pulverized by the fallen ceiling.
Trill starts looking around and investigating these tapestries that are all mildewy and gross to see what she can see, if there's anything she can recognize in them.
Okay, so Trill starts investigating around the walls at the perimeter of the room. What are other people doing?
Mag will go up and take a closer look at the table and other furniture.
Okay.
See if there's anything notable about those.
Mag advances towards the table at the center of the room, and as you step towards the rubble,
Nothing happens.
you feel a burst of ice-cold wind and a half-dozen ghostly kobolds surge up from the rubble and start howling, filling your head with just piercing, screaming sounds as the wind whips around and becomes an ongoing vortex. Their sunken eyes find yours as an eerie yowl fills your head.
What?
And we'll pick up from there next time.
Kobolds have souls to become ghosts? What?
The Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production, produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy. The Roots of Ruin uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's Community Use Policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. Paizo does not recognize, endorse, or sponsor this project in any way. Original characters and content are the property of Tabletop Gold. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. Email us at letters@tabletopgold.com and find all our social links at tabletopgold.com.